Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a quick little story about what happened here. I shuffled the cards. Long story short, I got interrupted, but this reading was so amazing that I was like, you know what, I'm not going to reshuffle the cards because this is for somebody. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. If you're here night or day, afternoon or evening, I appreciate that you are here with me at this moment. And if you are here with me at this moment, this reading could be for you. Okay, so in the recent past, the Lovers, the Magician. Okay, what I see here is a karmic contract of some sort, because the Lovers to me is not like the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups, when I read it, it's like that mutual relationship. It's like you meeting someone and it's just mutual, you know, usually romantic, but it can be friendship. The Lovers, because it's a major, the way I interpret it, it's a karmic contract. It's like soulmate energy, but not really soulmate, depending on how the reading is going. But I can tell you right now, this is more contract and the contract is up. Okay, and I'll tell you that because you have the Magician underneath, the Magician in reverse underneath the Lovers. And when I initially channeled the message, it was almost as if the Magician was on the stage and he could not do his tricks. It was like the illusion was over. He was pulling rabbits out of his hat. He could, and the rabbit wasn't there. It's almost like the illusion of it was gone. He was using all his tricks, every trick in the bag that he had, and it just was not working. And I think for some of you, there is a contract, whether that's your boss, your best friend, your worst friend, your teacher, your family member, whoever, because, and why I say that is because this is not someone you just met down the street a year ago. This is a contract that's been going on for a while. That's why I said like best friend, or, you know, someone, it could be a teacher that you had for 6 semesters. You know, think of it as not someone you just met at the store yesterday. It could have been a year. But just think of it as someone that you once looked at and said, oh my God, you know, but it was almost like this illusion, and the illusion is up. This could have been someone who has been playing tricks on you and the tricks are over. You know, this could have been someone that you really had rose-colored glasses on, and it's like the Magician in reverse. To me, the way I'm reading it now, it's like the tricks are not working anymore. Then in the current energy, you have the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups in reverse, which lets me know that for some of you, you're taking a slow and methodical approach and planting seeds, and moving away from that, because the Knight of Pentacles is literally moving away from the Lovers, and what he's moving away is straight into the Hermit, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But with the Knight of Cups in reverse, this is something that you were once proud of. This is something maybe even that was proud of you at one point, you know, because when we're doing everything that another person wants us to do and doesn't have great intentions, of course they're going to applaud us, you know, right? It's like, yeah, go ahead, do the thing I want you to do. But when you kind of move away from that status quo and you stop doing that thing that makes that person proud, or if it makes you proud, because you realize the illusion is over, you get the Nine of Cups in reverse. You're no longer proud. What your prized possession is, like you're no longer proud, and it's in reverse, right? So you're moving away from that, and what you're moving into is the Hermit. And Hermit is the Virgo energy, okay? And I think for some of you in the future position, you know, like once you kind of realize something, like that light bulb moment, and this is Virgo energy, I'm a Virgo, you kind of obsess about it. But it's not a bad obsession, it's a healthy obsession, because you're seeking answers. So you start to try to understand. You try to understand how it happened, when it happened, how, you know, all that. You're trying to put all the pieces together. Now, for some of you, you could be slowly moving towards a Virgo, a spiritual lighthouse. For some of you, if you're here, this is your spiritual lighthouse, which is very ironic because I literally call myself a spiritual lighthouse. I allow people to come to me or find me. I don't go seeking. You know, I'm not one of those that say, hey, Spirit has a message for you. You know, I don't do that. I let the people that need to come to me and get the guidance that they need come to me and seek me out like a lighthouse. And for others of you, it's just you're just seeking answers. And you have the 10 of Swords underneath. So that just lets me know that, you know, whatever this is, the answers that you're seeking, it's not coming from a place of pain. You went through that already. This is the 10 of Swords in reverse. So you've literally ripped the swords from, you know, your back. You probably did get backstabbed, but that's not the reason why you're seeking answers. It's not for revenge. It's not because you're not over it. You're trying to get the bigger picture of it, of like, why? You know, like what was the whole point of this? You know, that's what I get when I see the Hermit and the 10 of Swords in reverse. It's kind of like, I'm not hurt by it. You know, it's just like, why did you have to do that? So we're going to get some clarifiers here from the Light Seers deck. I had to, like I said, I initially pulled the cards and I recorded it, but then I got interrupted, family, because I do have a family, and I was like, no way I'm gonna, you know, reshuffle these cards because this is for someone. So Spirit, let me get a clarifier for the Lovers and the Magician in reverse, please. One more shuffle. Oh, Ace of Cups in reverse. You know, that came out in my last collective reading. Ace of Cups in reverse. This is like literally revoking any type of emotional access. You know, Ace of Cups is that new spark, that new emotional fulfillment. Whatever this is, it's almost like you giving someone your heart, right? You're giving someone your heart, your emotional, but in reverse, it's kind of like give it back, you know, or like closing off more so. That's how I interpret it. It's like closing off. It's like, no, I was willing to be open-hearted, but now I'm closed, you know. I don't know what, like I said, I like I say in all my readings, it never makes sense to me, and it's not for me to make sense of because it's not my reading. Queen of Swords in reverse. Some of you are very cold. And Queen of Swords is already cold as it is because she speaks from her mind. She's not very emotional. She's very just like quick with that sword, and it's like, you know, it's air energy. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, very talkative, very, you know, but in reverse, it's kind of like, I don't have nothing to say. And if I do have anything to say, it's not nice. So get away from me. That's what I get. Or it could also be that you realize something based on how someone else presented themselves. That person might be cold, right? The Queen of Swords, it could be an air sign. But this is your reading, your current energy. So, you know, being that it's clarifying the Knight of Pentacles, and you have quite a few people here now. You have the Knight of Pentacles, and you have the Queen of Swords in reverse. For some of you, it could have been an eye-opening moment for you with something someone said, or you could just be closing off communication as well. It's like, if I don't have anything nice to say, I'm not going to say anything at all, because Queen of Swords in reverse, she's nasty. She's nasty. It's like, don't even say anything. So it could have been the other person, or it could just be you, that you're in the Queen of Swords in reverse. And You know, I'm very straightforward with my readings. I don't condemn anything that comes out. If you're a Queen of Swords in reverse right now, because you have to be, then that's what you have to be. It's not always going to be roses. Everyone is not always going to be upright. There is reason for channeling the other side, and that's something that we need to get used to, being okay with polarity. You know, there are times when you have to be the opposite. You know, if you're always nice to everyone, they're gonna walk all over you. So you have to be the opposite of that. So if that's the current energy you're in right now, then hey, I am not judging at all, because you're walking directly towards the Hermit, and the Hermit is very enlightening and seeking answers. I'm not going to judge you for that, but let's go ahead and get the energy for the Hermit and the Ten of Swords and see what this outcome is. You're seeking answers. You're not feeling no longer stabbed in the back, and that's probably why you're able to seek answers now, because you're not confused. Oh, Jesus, are you kidding me? You got the Hermit again. You got the Hermit clarifying the Hermit. Okay, so for some of you, this is double Virgo energy. Hermit, again, is seeking answers. It comes right before the Strength, and Strength is realizing, kind of like disappointments. When that Strength comes out, that's usually what happens. It's like, okay, life isn't always that great. Let me pull from my Strength. And then once you pull from that Strength, you start to kind of gradually go towards that Hermit energy. And you probably use that Strength when you have the Ten of Swords upright. Now that it's reversed, you're able to give yourself more room to explore and really understand what's going on. It's like, okay, I'm not hurt by it. Like I said, you know, it's like it doesn't hurt me, but I need to understand. And Virgo is very analytical that way. You know, it's like, I need to understand the logistics of what just happened here with this contract. That it was great at first, and then the tricks, you know, the rose-colored glasses just literally came off, you know. And after the Hermit is the Wheel of Fortune. You know, you get that sense of purpose and that fate, you know. So this is very specific. And we're just going to keep going. Let's go ahead and see the overall experience that you were supposed to gain, or the lesson. So Spirit, let me get the overall. It's cold in here. I don't know if some of you are in cold areas, but it's cold where I am right now. Okay. Overall for the Lovers, the Magician in reverse, and the Ace of Cups in reverse, it's the crown chakra. Beautiful. This is you working from your higher self. This is saying, I understand. Let me fix that. This is saying, I understand. You know, I understand. I see it from a more spiritual self. And like I said, some of you could be realizing, like, you know, this is a karmic contract. Or this relationship is starting to fade away, or I'm starting to look at this situation or this person in a different light that I didn't see before. The illusion is over. The jig is up, you know. This person or this situation used to mesmerize me by pulling rabbits out of their hat, and now they can't do it. And now, you know, it's almost like this is a fraud, you know. Or it could just be as simple as growing apart, or just having differences and not, you know, feeling the same anymore. So that was your lesson in the past. Activating that crown chakra and really understanding from a spiritual sense, you know. If any of you have never even heard the term of soul contracts and karmic, maybe you just heard it recently and was like, wow, and the light bulb went off and your crown chakra literally lit up like a light bulb, right? Whatever the case, it came from a very spiritual place. So current energy, current lesson or experience. Stand your ground. Whoa, look at there. Stand your ground. And this is the Seven of Wands. This is about keeping a protective barrier. This is about boundaries as well. When people try to push, you have to push back. You know, that's what that is. Protecting what you've earned and facing challenges. you know, and literally saying no. You know, some of you, this is the lesson, saying no. And especially with the Queen of Swords in reverse, she's definitely going to tell you no without a shadow of a doubt and not even care. She's going to tell you no. So that's your current energy, lesson, experience, you know, that's going on now. Whatever it was, it came from a spiritual place, and now you're really standing your ground and holding your boundaries. So let's see, in the future outcome, what is the lesson or experience for the future outcome? Balance. Love it. Love it, because, you know, once you actually get there, and that's temperance, you know, that's definitely, and you'll get there, because after the Hermit, it's the Wheel of Fortune, it's the Justice, it's the Hangman. You know, if we're talking about the Fool's Journey, temperance is about moderation and balance. And what happens is, you know, after the Death card, and that's a rebirth, it's not literal death, that ego starts to shed. You start to shed that old skin. And when that happens, it can become quite destabilizing, because you're literally still in that in-between realm of the old you and the new you. So you have to literally learn how to anchor yourself and be balanced while you transition from one to the next. So for some of you, if this was, you know, a karmic connection or experience, or just, you know, a contract that's just coming up, going through that transition of letting that go and stepping into the new, you have to learn how to have balance, you know, and you will. For some of you, I even see support from angelic realms. I even see support from, wow, this person here, this angel here. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know why my light is so wonky today, but he has all the elements. He has the wand, he has the chalice, he has the sword, he has the pentacle. This is almost like the magician, but it's coming from a higher realm. So for some of you, you could be having assistance from your spirit guides, or someone who has crossed over that has the ability to make things work in your favor. Whereas whatever this was just an illusion. Whatever the situation, person, place, or thing, it was literally trying to fake like it was something that it was not. But what this is, when you actually seek answers and you ask answers from a place that's not coming from pain, with the Ten of Swords in reverse, you actually get the correct answers. You actually get the correct guidance. It's not face. It's not fake. It's not, you know, this almost gives me the feeling of like fake gurus, or like people who try to take advantage of your naiveness or things of that nature. That's what I'm getting. Like it can be a teacher, or just someone who, or a situation that just presented itself as, you know, cosmic and karmic, but it was all built on like lies and illusion. And when you stand your ground and really start to put the pieces together in a methodical approach, and really slow and steady with the Knight of Pentacles, all of that starts to come together. Especially you have the Hermit card twice, so that's double confirmation that some of you will be seeking answers. At the very least, you're going to be looking for answers in some area in your life. But what I will say is the experience that I want you to take away from this, the lesson that you're supposed to learn, or the experience that you're supposed to go through, is about standing your ground and having balance in whatever area this is in your life. Because this can be very, you know, this can be anything. I can talk about this all day. Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Cups in reverse, and Queen of Swords. I mean, you could be walking away, you know, from running track. You could be walking away from a sport that you love. You could be, you know, something that once satisfied you, but, you know, take it as it resonates. But I think the biggest takeaway, if I want you to take away anything, is what are you supposed to learn from this, or what experience are you supposed to experience now? And that's learning how to stand your ground and have balance, you know, and learn and know that you have assistance from elements that you may not even see or feel, but know that they're working for your highest and greatest good right now, with the balance and that angel, you know, having all those elements. So that's what I have for you, collective. If any of these messages resonate, I really would appreciate if you just take a second, and if all of it resonated or just a piece, the beginning, the middle, the end, whatever, give me a like so I know I'm not talking to myself. Even if it's just one person, at least I know that it did touch someone and it made sense to at least one person. That means so much to me. It's not even about likes or anything. I just like to know that someone's out there listening. If you're still with me at 20 minutes, really do appreciate it. And I will continue to upload these videos for those who need it. But if this is where I leave you, take care.